Hello, and welcome to a new episode of the Mining Experience. For those who are listening to us for the first time, the Mining Experience is a live podcast that invites professionals from the mining industry to discuss new technologies, address challenges, and share work experiences. I am Daniela Jaimes, Marketing Manager at ProMine, and here with me is my colleague Mohammed. Hello, Mohammed.
Hi, Daniela. Thank you for the nice introduction. I'm the Director of Business Development of the EMEA region at ProMine, and it's my pleasure to join you today as the co-host. Thank you.
Thank you, Mo. Well, today we have a very special episode dedicated to mine planning, scheduling, and 3D modeling, which is a crucial foundation for successful mining operations. Mine planning and 3D modeling is critical for decision making within mining operations, and well, with detailed scheduling and a comprehensive visualization of mine design, engineers can develop effective action plans for the efficient extraction of minerals. So basically, it's a delicate balance between maximizing productivity, minimizing costs, and ensuring environmental sustainability.
And today we have the pleasure to host a special guest all the way from Germany, Mr. Alexander Ugluzic, who studied and lived in Serbia. He has a master's degree in mining engineering and has been working as a project engineer for the consulting company Ergosplan since March 2020. Since he started working at Ergosplan, he's been involved in several projects related to the underground exploitation of raw materials. Mr. Alexander, welcome and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much for your invitation, and
awesome.
It's my pleasure, and I'm glad to be here with you to discuss about our favorite topic.
Yeah. Very well. So just to let everybody know, if you're watching us from Zoom, you have the Q&A button that allows you to pose any questions. Or if you're watching us from YouTube, feel free to leave your questions and comments in the comments section, and we'll get back to you. So, okay, so let's get started. So, as we have Mr. Alexander today with us, we would like to, ask him a few questions about mine planning, and he's gonna tell us all about his work and share his experiences, which will be a great episode. So, Alexander, can you tell us a little bit about the type of work that you do in mine design?
So basically, since I came in Ergosplan, I have started to work on basically on mine design work, but as we are a consulting company, we can provide a lot of more jobs that we can do, and I was also involved in not in just mine design, but also in rock mechanical analysis, and also in construction work. So. But as I said, mainly job, what I'm doing here is mine design. We have several stages. For example, depend on what our clients needs, and based on our contract, and based on what we can provide as a final result. So we can, as a consulting company, we have been involved in also short-term, mid-term, long-term planning for underground mine, but mainly in the potash mining. But in the last, I would say, 2-3 years, we also expand our work in some other fields, as I said, in construction, for example, and also waste disposal of nuclear waste disposal. So it's quite demanding job, but we are trying to expand our network of work. And but I will talk now about my job a little bit. It's so what I have to do. Usually, I receive a task from directly from our client or from our management, and then we make like a small workshop, and then we agree what we have to do in the next few months or something like that. And then so we make a base, and then usually I'm doing mine design, mine scheduling, mine modeling, also rock mechanical analysis, and then I create a base, and then what is very important, I create a good base with our geologists. For example, if we have to create mine design for one mine, underground mine, and then first thing what I do is make a good base with our geologists. I make cooperation with them, and then see what we can do, how much time we have for that, how much time I need for to finish that job. And but we can also divide that in two parts. First part is if we, for example, agree with our client that we in some time we have to finish something, and what we have to do, for example, short-term plan. So we know that we have to do that with detailed design, with to put much more effort. I mean, we put effort on every task, but sometimes if that mine runs immediately, needs to run immediately, then we have to make fast our steps, and then it's it's quite demanding. But as I said, we can also say that if we don't have existing mine, so again we agree about the period that we have to do the job, and then we make our milestones of our job, and that is my boundaries that I have to follow, and the guidance that I have to follow. So depend on the project, depend on the client needs. So it's quite unknown before first meeting. So it's but usually we stay. I stay in the mine design chapter and in overall mining part of projects.
Yep. And I know that, well, in Germany, the amount of potash mines are,
Yes.
there are a lot of them. So that plus the construction projects that you have, plus the other ones too, it must be, a lot of busy work.
We have to cooperate with our colleagues from existing mines, and that's probably the key of good work, because if you don't receive data on proper time, if we don't deliver our results when is the end of our delivery date, then but mining is one big issue, and you can never say that this project is going perfectly, and you have always small issues that are make some delays, but that's why we are here, and we are trying to solve that and to improve in every future project. So
absolutely,
it's sometimes is better to work with existing mine than from my experience and my opinion, but when you have to create a totally new plan for just investigated some deposit.
Yes. Well, wow. That's a lot of stuff, definitely. And well, can you tell us then what motivated you to get into underground mining and all this huge world that you just talked to us about?
Basically I graduated from chemistry high school, so I was not in touch with mining industry and in general with engineering stuff. And then to be honest, I was literally watching some TV shows, and in that, I mean, when I was 15 years younger, I watched some TV shows. I liked it, and then I remember I asked one of my professors in the high school, what I can do there, what is the future of that, opportunities, and that professor recommended me some engineering faculties in University in Belgrade. And then I realized, okay, civil engineering or mining engineering. And then just over some years, I decided to start with mining engineering studies. And then in the first year of my studies, because we have like first 3 years, they were like overall mining in the surface, underground, and then literally in the next 3 years, you can see over the some subjects, and also I had some talks with my professors, and they guide me to choose. I decided just to use to enter to underground mining. And for example, we had a very good experience in third year, where every Friday we went to a mine site, surface or underground. And then that was a good idea from my faculty, because then you can see literally what you want to work, surface or underground. And I liked underground. So after third year, I decided for underground mining, and then next 2 years I spent with underground mining subjects, and then after 5 years at all, I finished my studies, and I can say only thank you to my professors and all people that influenced on me that I finish underground mining. So I can say that I chose. I have chosen a good choice.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally like underground mining too. It's a although like some people are afraid of it, but I find it actually very exciting. So
Yeah, yeah, like kind of special species of.
oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's yeah.
now
surface
you both
mining.
look very, very passionate about it. I mean,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
eyes shine when you talk about underground mining, that's for sure.
yeah. But when you see, for example, big machines on the open pit mines, then it looks incredible. I want to work there. But when you deep more, and then I just realized that I liked more underground, and that
Mhm.
was my choice.
That is true. And it's funny that you say that you didn't plan on going into mining, which is my case too, because
Yeah,
I find that a lot of people don't like, especially when you're in high school, you don't really know like what mining is all about and what you
exactly.
do. You just imagine like, you know, like a person with an axe and digging for gold. But once you start actually studying it, you realize that it's actually a huge industry, which is it's really fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, and what you
Mhm.
can imagine when you are 15 years old, that trucks
Yeah.
are below the surface, they
Mhm.
going and hoisting millions of tons of ore, and it's
Yeah.
when you're 15 years old, it's hard to imagine that, but just over the years, I realize that, and that's why I like more underground.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, can you tell us what are some key considerations and challenges that need to be addressed when designing an underground mine? Because we know, like, when doing a plan, there are always problems. You know, you can't have the perfect plan from the first time. So, what are some of these key considerations and challenges that we need to say
Yeah,
in advance?
yeah. I mean, for me, the mine planning underground mines are extremely hard, and you have to consider a lot of factors that can influence on the mine planning in general, and later on making cost plan, and also for before mine planning to create good geology exploration work. And but I can say that I can divide it in main three chapters, main three parts: geology, mining, and rock mechanical analysis. So in the geology, so what we have to do, and what we are doing here is making good, trying to get a good deposit ore body, and before that to do exploration work, which is very demanding and time consuming. And for example, if you have existing mine that you have to lead through your plans, so you have to consider all the time for that our geologist needs to create proper geology layers, for example, in potash mining. So it's really demanding work and time consuming. So from geology point of view, we have to get all geological conditions to know them and to realize if we have some weaknesses there, what can we improve with our strength, with human strength, to secure some ground support, something like that. But in general, yeah, the geological conditions are the most important. And me as a mining engineer, I don't want to just let people go in unsafe environment and say, okay, do your job and that's it. So that cooperation between geologists and us as a mining engineers, and also geotechnicians that are preparing rock mechanical analysis, which I'm doing also, is I would say the most the connection must be very strong, and we have to cooperate very careful. So from mining point of view, at the end, what we have to provide is safe mine, so safe work for all miners in the mines. And but on the other side, we have to see that is economical and financial viable. So if we don't provide that, why we are doing this job? So in the mining, we have a lot of factors that are coming from geology, conditions of the deposit, inclination. Do we have some faults inside? Some big faults. For example, in potash mining is very important hydrogeology. So hydrogeological model is probably the crucial thing before entering the mine. So so leaving the big barrier pillars around the potash seam, also big pillars around the faults, because just one inflow of water can literally destroy the complete mine, which would be probably the which end like a catastrophe. So it's also from mining point of view, it's very demanding and it's time consuming. But we, for example, if in long-term planning, its situation is a little bit better, but in short-term planning with existing mines, that can be that is more interesting, but more demanding. And as a last part that I mentioned, rock mechanical analysis, we know that you cannot create so many models, and then you cannot do so many tests because they are quite expensive, especially underground tests of rock mechanical properties. So you have to stop at some point and then to say, okay, this is my plan, and to consider all main criteria that are most important for the mine and for the geology, for the mining, and also for rock mechanical analysis. So at the end, you have to just decide what is best for you, best for the mine, and continue with that, but not to lose weight too much with some crazy calculations, crazy models, and so on.
So yeah, because there are always going to be challenges. So you might as well, present something and then look for challenges and then do more, and you keep improving rather than just, as you said, doing some crazy calculations and that won't get you anywhere. Yeah.
At the end, mine is one area where you literally don't know what can happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's probably the craziest thing in the mining industry. But with our mine planning, we are trying to reduce that percentage of failing. So actually what we are trying to do to create a plan that will be very accurate, considering all main criteria that are related to the mining, but also another aspect, you have to see price on the market and see is it feasible with your choice or not. So
Yes.
it's a lot of things are coming from each side, and you have to put in just one good package and then to deliver.
Exactly. That's right. And what would you say that are some indicators that tell you that you're going on the right track when you're doing mine scheduling and design?
Yeah, in my work, in mine designing, I usually follow main criteria, such from one of them are from geology, from rock mechanical analysis, and also the basic, for example, mining method. So I cannot put mining method for room and pillar in vertical ore body, and we have to look each aspect what can have impact on our planning, and then to just focus on that. So basically, as I said, what I ask always our geologists is to provide exclusion areas where I cannot in any case enter with mining drifts, my mine infrastructure. So first of all, I create exclusion areas. I use geological conditions, and based on that, I start with first initial mine layout, and then over the time, if we have new input data or some new knowledge about deposit, something like that, I just try to fit my mine plan, my design with as best as I can to those criteria that are updated, but also considering that I have to respect life of mine. We cannot just say we will mine, I don't know, for a small deposit 100 years or finish in 5 years. So we have to also respect machines that we are going to buy. So they have to work some time, and they have to be spent on a proper way. So and also for rock mechanical analysis, we have to respect all. Is also for me quite important guidance that I never leave on the side and forgot on the safety. So it's always respect the design pillars, and also just to implement them in the mine plan.
Yeah, that's very well said. And when it comes to time management, how do you usually manage your time when doing mine design? Because you can always, like we said earlier, you can always spend more time to perfect the plan, but then when do you stop and you say that this is good enough?
Yeah, I have two cases. One case is when you agree with client what would be the final result. If you achieve it if you can achieve that easily, good for you. But if I have to create a mine plan for not existing mine, then doubts are coming. So then we have to include so many aspects. And for example, in the mine planning, I usually, as I said, I start with our geologist and create a base, and then I follow my criteria for mine planning, and I'm trying to stick with that time. And also, we have always some requirements from the client. So me as a project engineer, I cannot just go beyond that, and I have to stick with some milestones of the project, which sometimes, I mean, usually, from my experience, is that is not by us. So we have to extend some milestones, and I think there is no perfect project that you can just from day to day finish everything. You have always some delays, some missing data, or for example, you get a new data, then will change your schedules. And but the aim is to try to stay flexible, to not put your idea on the table and say this is it and I don't want to change that. I'm closed for all discussions. So that's, I think, wrong way of in general making mine plans. So it's quite challenging, but I used to make my internal my plan, my schedule, and then to follow that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely you know, like you said, there will be delays, and it's normal, because especially in mine planning, when we don't know what's in the ground, because we
Yes.
you know, we
Yes.
just go and we do all this work, but we don't actually physically see what's in the ground. So it's normal to have delays, errors, missing information, and it's important to accommodate to account for that, so that, you know, like when you have like what
Yeah.
I'm trying always in my planning to have several areas we can mine, for example.
Mhm.
I mean, to propose to mine always in several fields, to not have only one field, and if something happened there, then you don't have production. It's bad for
Mhm.
plant, it's bad for the complete mine.
Absolutely.
So it's in the mine. Yeah, my plan is, as I said, very, very detailed design, and it's highly demanding. And as you said, at the end, you have to provide daily production or monthly production with all delays that you can assume, or what can happen in the mine, in
Yes.
existing mine. So
It's very challenging.
you are always in the fight with that.
Yeah, I know. And the fact that it has to be very detailed, but at the same time you have to be flexible, because it's very uncertain on, you know, as you said before, conditions can change in one
Yeah.
day. So I can imagine it, it must be very, very hard. And now, can you talk to us a little about the type of software you use for underground mine design?
Well, when I came to the company, we had one other software which doesn't have CAD platform, and then one of my first tasks was to, a bit also with my older colleagues, to find a proper software that we can use in the future in all our projects, and just to compare abilities and also costs. And that's why we are using ProMine. And since we got ProMine, we can say that we are just happy with that and with ProMine, and in the future we will definitely continue with ProMine, because ProMine, what I experienced in the since I started mining studies is that people are just lazy to learn softwares. I don't know why, but that's probably the highest demanding thing that they have to do, especially for the mining engineers. And what I like in the ProMine is that it's very user friendly, and it's with good training. I think it's not required to spend too much time on learning, and that's one of the things that I like most with ProMine. But before I had good knowledge about CAD softwares which contain a CAD platform. So for me, it was easy to adapt and to just bring all my before knowledge and then to just upgrade with ProMine modules, which for me, which helped me a lot in my old project that I have done with ProMine. And also what is good with ProMine is that you can cover all milestones in the project, so you don't need to use some other softwares that for example, for geology, or to create ore body, or to import drill holes or something like that. So when you start, you can finish in one software. You don't need to change data to export, import data from other softwares. So it's quite user friendly, simply and very quick to use it.
That's great. Good to hear that good feedback. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's
Thank you.
we're glad that it's useful for you. Yeah. And can you maybe give us some specific examples where, let's say you have a problem and then it's easily solved in ProMine in the CAD platform?
Yeah. So for I had several situations. One of them is, for example, just basic 3D drift making. So it's sometimes in the past I had problem to just put somewhere a 3D drift and to start from that drift the complete mine. So in ProMine, which contained the CAD platform, for me it was super easy and so simply to use, and you can, based on the elevation, just create based on the elevation and the position of for example surface point where you will enter the mine. I mean, with the comments from ProMine, that's very simple. And also where I saw very big advantages is mine planning module is that, for example, you can before we had a problem with following each step. It's sometimes you just don't have data for something, and you have to imagine, or you can, I mean, imagine, but to be close to the reality based on the experience. And that's in ProMine. We have used our experience, and we just attach that to the ProMine. And in the ProMine with the mine planning module, I can say that in just a few days we can finish one mining block with all items, with all features, and to export very quickly in other files, like in other types of file.
Right.
Mine schedule, for example, and you can have everything in one drawing, or for example in filer option module that we can create a huge database of our drawings outside of the ProMine, and then you can just pick up what you need. So it's
Right, yes.
It's quite good and very quick option, and it's a very user friendly. As I said, it's impossible how fast you can get the result. And also for the modeling, what ProMine made a good thing is that you can improvise a little bit. You don't need to follow each comment perfectly. You can improvise, you can mix some comments, and then to get the result what you want. And that's also useful CAD platform. It's very simplified, and for 2D and 3D drawing is for me is one of the best.
Great.
And
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
You can visualize very quickly. You don't need to spend too much time on calculation. And for example, I think the ProMine improved that modeling part, that you can create big models much quicker than just using CAD platform somewhere, and it's compatible. So probably the most best thing. It's the best thing that you just can export your file, and ProMine can also import from several softwares very quickly. A huge amount of data. For example, I just had in my project that I have to import block model, which is done in another software, and then I just got the database, and then with just a few comments, I got the complete block model recalculated in the ProMine, and it was instead of spending a few weeks on that, you can just do in a few days.
Correct. Yeah. It's definitely, like you said, it's the combination of having a user-friendly software plus the fact that you can create a convention where you can store all your files and then be able to just like insert whatever you want and work only with that part. This is definitely something that you know, in general, our goal is to allow you to save time and effort, and to do it in the most user-friendly way, which is which affirms what you just said.
I mean, nobody likes when you receive file with I don't know so many things inside of
too many layers, too many objects.
To divide it all, and it's time consuming, and you don't know the background of that. And with ProMine, that is solved very nicely, and what is the most important, it's very quick. It's
yes, definitely.
Excellent.
And then when doing mine scheduling, what are the benefits of using CAD functions that are, you know, customized for the mining industry?
Yeah, so when I receive geological layer of interested area or ore body, whatever, so the next step is to create mine plan, actually to add drifts and chambers, main infrastructure around that ore body or inside, or whatever type you need to add. So as I said, in mining engineering module in ProMine, you can easily create 3D drifts, 2D drifts to add all attributes what you need for exportation that you need to show to the clients. and usually they like 3D things. It's yeah, it's a strange thing, but it's like a fashion in the mining. It's without good 3D visualization, you just cannot achieve good price of your plan, or you cannot sell your product. It's just like that. But in my scheduling, so we have our party, we have 3D drifts, and with mine planning, mine scheduling tool is that you can easily pick up not one drift, you can pick up several drifts. You can create mining block. For example, if we have, can you imagine that we have in one mine 12 panels? Each panel contain 12 mining blocks, and then each mining block contain around 100 drifts. So can you imagine that work that you have to do line by line? You will waste
Very
probably
time
money
consuming
on that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what ProMine has improved is that with new command is that you can just create area of your interest, for example, mining block or panel, whatever. For example, if you have to create for long term, you will probably long-term plan, you will probably choose the complete panel. You will not go block by block. So you can just select lines what you need and then just create a mine schedule of that. Considering all mining operations, cost you can add also. So it's a lot of attributes that can be added, and it's with mine planning module in ProMine, it's very well covered.
Great. Yeah, this is definitely very, like, you save a lot of time, and
Yes.
you do it in the shortest time possible, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you want the tool to help you and not, be like extra work for you, so this is
Yes.
something.
For example, also with if I have to plan for existing mine, so I can include delays, I can include actual progress of that mine. So it's quite good, and you can just re-update the complete import from the filer, all things that you need, re-update, and then again to send out to the client or
Mhm.
somewhere else. So it's very useful.
Great. Awesome. So just as a small reminder for everybody who joined us in Zoom, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the Q&A button, and we will answer all your questions at the end of the podcast. And for the people watching us from YouTube, you can leave it in the comment section on the right, and we will get back to you as well. So as I would like to also know if you have any tips for people struggling with mind planning and design, since you've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
The underground mine expert. What can you say?
Basically, when I finished my study, I didn't realize it would be like this. So it's definitely not like this. Mine planning is not just create plan and that is finished. So you have, for example, daily production or yearly production, and I will achieve that, and that's it. So that is not the true. That is not the case. So for all people who struggle with mine planning, mine design, they cannot give up. So they have to continue to not learning, but reading articles about mine planning, learning new softwares. If they have opportunity to work in ProMine, it's definitely a good idea. So they just have to stay focused and stay on the just to follow the whole, I would say, fashion in the mining engineering. So because if you, for example, if you focus only on one point and you want to doing, for example, just to prepare mine schedule plans, it's not enough. So they have to consider what is first is the criteria for them, main criteria from geology, from the mining, from rock mechanical analysis. Also for the costs are very important, of course, and they have to consider also what is the situation on the market, because today can be one price, tomorrow can be other price, and when you plan for existing mine, you can literally get a headache of that. And so just don't give up. They have to read articles about mine planning, mine design, just to spread their knowledge as much as they can, but not to go extremely in some points, and always to listen older experienced people, because they know something. They can just from the pocket pick up some data from the experience, and which can help them a lot. And when you are at the beginning of the career, that's probably the biggest issue when you have to create a mine plan. You don't have experience, you're not in mine. That can be a big blockade of continuing in mine planning.
Right.
Yeah.
That's an excellent advice. Thank you very much. So yeah, besides that, we are gonna check for. Oh yeah, I see.
For questions.
Yeah, I'll just review here. Okay, we have one in Zoom, and YouTube is still not here. Okay, so the Zoom question says, how many mines have you planned or designed, and what is your advice for someone like me with a mechanical engineering background, hoping to get to your wait, I think there's a little mistake here. Okay, hoping to get to your company, maybe. I don't understand. Okay, anyway, they're basically asking, if I can summarize this question, they're a mechanical engineer
Yes.
working at a mine in Zambia, and they're asking for advice to someone like them, hoping to maybe switch to the mining industry. So yeah, if you have any advice for them.
Yeah. So how many mines? Let's count. We have 2 existing. So we prepare plans for 2 existing mines. We have a few construction sites. We have in 3 or 4 mines, we have waste disposal. And I planned 3 mines that are still not started with production. So yeah, something like that. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I hope that answered your
advice for what you said.
Yeah, they're basically asking how do they get to your level. So I guess you just proved that you're an expert. So everybody's trying to be like you now. Yeah.
that is nice. Thank you. But so.
And just to let you know, we also have the same question, someone who's a civil engineer. So we have civil and mechanical who would like to also, step into mining and see what it's like.
For me it was I understood mining engineering when I started to understand geology and rock mechanical analysis, because I think those 3 points are very crucial for good mine plan. So, as my professor said, you have to know geology as a geologist. So, at least as a geologist. So, they have to. To start reading with reading some geological formations, how is done in the several millions of years. So to get a base, what is actually ore, what we mine out, and then they can start with simplified explanations about mining method, and then they will find a path what is the best for them, surface or underground mining. If it is underground mining, then do you want to work in coal, for example, industry or potash industry, because it's quite different. We use the same mining method, but it's not that same. The geological conditions are much more different. And also, if they like, they can also learn principles of rock mechanical analysis, rock mechanical methods that are used for actually numerical methods that are used for recalculating the stability of the mines, of the drifts, of also tunnels. So, and also to have a clear picture, and when you see in the book some drawings of 3D things, then they can try to do that in some software. So I think the CAD's platform is good for the start, and then they can upgrade as they advance.
Excellent. Very well. And we have, so I hope that answered your questions. So here I'm just going to mark them as done. And we also have one more saying, I really want to know the civil engineering prospects in mining. So I can speak from experience, and maybe Alexander can add to what I'm about to say. But essentially, in a mine, you have all sorts of engineering happening. You have even like electrical, mechanical, civil, software.
Yes.
All aspects of engineering that work at a mine. We usually say that mining is like the mother of all engineering, because at a mine you have all the other aspects of engineering. But I know civil engineering is very important in surface mines, where you have to ensure the stability of your benches. And of course, when you go underground, it's also important for support analysis, and you get to do a little bit of rock mechanics as well, from a civil point of view.
And also in shaft sinking, the civil
Yes.
engineering is probably the most important, and also with getting good stability of the shaft. So, and also, for example, in some mines, you have to create a good and actually a very stable main infrastructure, because if you have very extremely bad conditions, then the aspects from the civil engineering is there to find a solution.
Yes, correct. Thank you very much. Excellent. So yeah, we're good with the questions, and we have arrived at to the end of our episode. We would like to thank Alexander very, very much for being our guest today. I think one of my favorite episodes, and
Definitely,
thank you for
definitely.
thanks for sharing all those precious insights with us. We would like to also thank our attendees for listening to us, and yeah, thank you very much.
Well, and finally, we want to remind you to follow us on social media networks, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, where you can, of course, well, on YouTube, you can watch again all our episodes of the podcast and our courses. And you can find more information about our software and our events. And having said that, we'll see you in another episode of the Mining Experience, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you guys again. It was my pleasure be with you and to have some discussions and to answer some questions. So I
Thank
hope
you so much.
we will have a lot of discussions like this. So thank you.
Thank you.